This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Welcome in, everyone, to day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm your Vegas Nation host, Cassie Soto, here inside of the Las Vegas Review-Journal studios with breaking news that the Raiders have traded up to number 35. They were originally scheduled to draft at number 38, but there's got to be somebody on the board left here that they really like. So let's go ahead and break it down for you. Joining me in studio is Las Vegas Review-Journal sports columnist Adam Hill. Almost called you Sam Gordon, but no shade to Sam, but a new improvement here.
For sure. And look, he was here last night, so it makes sense. It was late into the evening, not much sleep, so I get it.
Adam Hill in studio with me here again. Adam, the Raiders trading up to that number 35 pick, trading with the Colts. Who do you think? What do you think here as we're waiting for this breaking news to come out? What do you think is going on here at the Raiders' war room in Henderson?
Well, to move up a couple spots, it's clearly something they really want. They've really targeted. Obviously, Hendon Hooker is a guy that people have thought at quarterback. I think it's Michael Mayer. He's a tight end from Notre Dame. Really, really dynamic playmaker. I thought he easily could have gone in the first round. He fits what they want to do. They have some starters at tight end, for sure. We know that they went out. They signed O.J. Howard. They signed Austin Hooper. Those are the guys for now. But they need a tight end of the future. They need that dynamic kind of playmaker in that role. And I think Michael Mayer can be the guy. So we'll find out if that is who it is.
Right.
I think that's who it's going to be. But there's some options, too, on defense. Drew Sanders, a really good linebacker, which they could really use. Brian Branch, a very versatile player. A lot of options, but I'm going to go Michael Mayer.
Yeah, Twitter's going crazy right now, so we're here. We're probably just a few seconds away from officially finding out. As you're saying, there's a couple names here on Twitter as well that are coming out, but we'll wait for the official draft pick to be made. Once again, the Raiders trading up from 38 to 35 now to make their pick, starting off day 2 very strong right away with a trade. Again, just talk about, let's recap day 1 first as we wait for this trade here. Oh, here we go. Actually, hold on. We're gonna make this selection live. The commissioner is at the podium now, going to announce the Raiders' 35th pick. They moved up from 38 to 35. So right now, with the 35th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are selecting tight end Michael Mayer of Notre Dame. Are you a psychic?
Maybe, but no, I don't think so. I think that look, there was only a couple players that you would target that you would move up for. I think Michael Mayer is a guy that you would expect to have gone in the first round. Again, he didn't. I think there was a couple things on tape that some people saw that they may not have loved, but the production is there. And guess what? The production is there at Allegiant Stadium. They don't have to look very far to see what this guy can do. He came into Allegiant Stadium this year with Notre Dame. He tore it up. He was wide open every single play. They were going to him consistently, and he was able to make a lot of plays on that field at Allegiant Stadium. I know there's an NFL comparison that they're showing right now of Jason Witten. I don't know about that. I think Mayer's a little bit more athletic even than Jason Witten was. But he's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He's actually very, very effective as a blocker, something that was a knock on some of the other really good receiving tight ends. But he can really do it all, what you want out of a tight end. So I think a very, very good pick for the Raiders. Not necessarily a guy. Again, they've got starters there. They've got guys that can play there. He doesn't have to play right away. But this is a tight end of the future for sure for this team. And I'm sure, look, we know what the Patriots have done in the past, and we talk about the Raiders being kind of the new Patriots. The Patriots have used a lot of tight ends. They had a lot of times where they had 2 dynamic playmaking tight ends on the field at the same time. So the Raiders get their guy that can go out, get open, catch some passes, and also do a little bit of blocking.
Once again, if you're just now joining us, the Raiders have traded up to that number 35 pick and have selected Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. And again, you talk about the tight end position for the Raiders. The Raider fans, Raider Nation have known so long Darren Waller as somebody that can be such a threat on the field. Obviously, it's a very high expectation to ask that of a rookie, but is that somebody that could come in and, make that role part of their own?
Yeah, a different kind of player. I don't think quite as dynamic a receiver,
right? But
very, very good. Again, that game at Allegiant Stadium, 11 catches, 118 yards for Michael Mayer. He was all over the place. So maybe a little bit, not as good in the passing game, but better as a blocker for sure. So I think definitely a guy that they had their eyes on, a guy that they were interested in, and now they go ahead and make that move. We should point out they did have to give up the pick 141 in order to move up 3 spots to grab the guy that they want. But the Raiders had 12 picks. And going into the draft, I think a lot of people said, and we wrote about it consistently, they're probably not going to make 12 picks in this draft. That's a lot of guys to bring in the draft. But what you can do with that draft capital is target here and there. So here they said, look, maybe in the next 3 picks, our guy goes. we're committed to drafting Michael Mayer. We're going to go make this pick. We're going to make the trade, give up a pick, and get this job done. And so I think that's very, very impressive that they found the guy they wanted. They went up and did it, and they got the guy.
Right. Well, they've drafted defense in the first round now, getting some offensive help. They, as of right now, have number 70 and 100 left here in the today. What do you think they do with those next couple of picks?
Well, I would think defense.
Okay.
I think that's where you really need to go if you're the Raiders. But
really fast. Look at that picture of him bending his foot. Did you see that? That was kind of crazy.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's very bendy. Him and Chandler Jones maybe be doing some yoga on the field together.
Too. I think solid hair. Even at the combine, good for him.
The special teams will love that if he's got a good head of hair.
Absolutely, no question. He'll fit. Look at that. It's good. It's a good,
some
good
flow
right
there.
So defense. You have to look on all levels of the defense. Obviously, yesterday went edge rusher, which wasn't the biggest need, but you can get an influx of talent there. Linebacker for sure is a need. Drew Sanders was on the board here. I thought that was potentially a possibility. If he somehow falls, that'd be a great pick for them a little bit later on. Certainly in the secondary, you still need a corner. We thought they might get one in the first round. They didn't. They're going to need guys there. Brian Branch, I don't think he's coming back to them. I thought he might go now. One of the smartest players you're going to find defensively. I thought that would have been a good pick too. So really versatile players in the secondary, corners, linebackers, and even defensive tackle, I think, is still a big need for this team. So a lot of different places they could go, a lot of different options. Certainly the offensive line is still a possibility too, but you need playmakers on defense. You need to keep building up that side of the ball. So I expect them to go on that side.
All right. Well, still a couple days ahead of us here. Once again, the Raiders kicking off day 2, trading up to number 35 to draft Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. For all of your Raiders news during the 2023 NFL Draft, go ahead and follow us at vegasnation.com. As follow Adam on Twitter at AdamHillLVRJ. He's got all of the greatest breaking news there. So thank you so much for tuning in with us live. We will be back at the end of the evening with more. Thank you so much.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.